morning and welcome to Tiger TV News. I'm Fallon Pryor.
And I'm Madison Staples.
Since the COVID-19 pandemic started in 2020, teenage mental health has been on decline.
The CDC reports that teenage suicide rates have increased by 50% for girls and 4% for boys since the beginning of the pandemic.
Timberlake High School teachers and administrators are working hard to start the conversation in hopes that this will encourage students to speak out about how they really feel.
Because of the recent pandemic, the mental health of people all over the world suffered.
Since the pandemic, it's been significantly worse. There was a lot of isolation that made a big difference in people's lives and their mental health.
Changed the way that we work, the way that we go to school, the way that we communicate with each other.
The kids that need that structure, that want to be around their friends, that this is their only constant in their life that gives them something, probably had some adverse effects on them.
Unfortunately, these struggles led to an increase in suicidal attempts. These attempts impacted not only family and friends, but also the first responders who showed up on scene.
When we get on scene, trying to just remember that we have a job to do is the most important part.
Every time we get a call, it's somebody's worst day, right? But with these calls, it's a lot more personal and it's a lot more emotional for everybody.
Each call has its own effect on everyone. The more serious the call, the more serious the effect it has on each individual.
The negative impacts of the pandemic have encouraged Timberlake High School to take the initiative to start the conversation.
As a society, we don't do a good job talking about suicide, and it's a very common feeling, unfortunately.
I think students need to know that they're not alone and we have to start having the conversation, and in a positive way where everybody knows we're in this together.
Not walking this journey alone is so important. Suicide is a very permanent solution for a very temporary problem, but as a teen, it's difficult to see through that.
Each day in our nation, there are an average of over 3,700 suicide attempts by teens. Timberlake High School wants to help that number to decrease by spreading the message that everyone is truly irreplaceable.
Being a teenager is already hard enough, so it is comforting to hear that the compassionate teachers at Timberlake are making a difference in the lives of students during these hard times.
Absolutely. With teachers like these, students will feel like they are enough.
If you or someone you know is struggling, the new number for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is 988. This service is available 24/7.
In national news, staffing shortages are causing hardship to communities all over the country.
These staffing shortages are affecting small and large businesses alike. Reporter Kendel Lewis went out to take a look at the details of this nationwide crisis.
I'm Kendel Lewis, and I'm here at Timberlake Fire Department, just one place in the United States that is being affected by the national staffing shortages. Communities across the United States are constantly affected by staffing shortages.
Well, really the staffing shortages don't necessarily affect the fire department as much as they do the community.
And the fire department isn't the only one facing these struggles.
Biggest effect is, having to cancel routes for families. It's usually a last minute when somebody calls in sick and we just don't have a driver. So we're sending out that alert the night before saying, sorry, your kid doesn't have a route for this week.
Many different businesses are having to rely on each other in these difficult times.
Heavily relying on the surrounding fire departments around us, and that's pretty common across the United States. Fire departments tend to work together and to meet those needs.
And in some cases, many people have to do several different jobs within their departments.
Mine in here particularly, I'm not in here. I'm out there covering.
All of the extra work that is coming with these national staffing shortages is taking a toll on worker mental health too.
It takes a huge toll. Just like me, I'm doing a 72-hour shift, so I'm going to be here for the next 3 days. So I don't get to see my home, don't get to see my dog, my family.
Even though our fire department is struggling with these staffing shortages, our firefighters are hopeful that with the snowpack that we have gotten this year, they won't have to respond to quite as many wildfire calls this summer. Now back to you in the studio.
As you can see, there is a lot more going on behind the scenes of these staffing shortages than what meets the eye.
Yes, for sure. This staffing shortage crisis is taking a toll on consumers and workers nationwide.
Looks like we're running out of time for today. Thank you for tuning in.
This has been Madison Staples
and Fallon Pryor
reporting for Tiger TV News.